one last question. I am wondering, how does it exactly work with the implementation? Because I always hear that it takes months for SAP to to be able to run an SAP ERP. Is that true or?
Well, in the past it was definitely true because, let's say, with the on-premise kind of software, the way how you, and I now stick to ERP for a moment, implementing SAP was a hard task. You had to configure many areas. You had to, use switches to have specific behavior of the software. And if you were doing that, you had to document it. And if a new version of the software came out, you had to upgrade. You had to start sometimes all over again. So it was very heavy. You relied a lot on external capacity, like you had to hire in consultants. Your own team couldn't always do it. Or if you could, your own IT team was very heavy.
Yeah.
Today, there's a completely different world. Even my mother is using apps and she's not being trained in using an app on her smartphone. So
that's true.
What we do today, and an implementation of SAP is now fundamentally different. We first use, during the pre-sales phase, we use a way which we call the digital discovery assessment. That is a process to find out, together with the customer, what are the top priorities of activities you are going to do and which require best practices.
Yes.
And we use a tool for that, which is very pleasant, and our prospects and customers really like using it because it helps them to think about best practices, fit to standard, and where it doesn't fit, there we can think about the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
This is where we can do a certain extensibility.
Exactly.
So implementing SAP is first selecting the best practices, and then once you have made the decision to go for SAP, we activate very quickly. This is literally in a few weeks.
Okay.
The complete foundation for a company. And once we deliver that together with our partners, we then start tweaking and tuning, but this can be an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Because
so just to make sure their main needs are already running in the system you discovered during the digital.
And then you think about phasing, like if you, and this was one, I think personally, I dealt with hundreds of cases in the past years. Very often a too big scope was selected. And if a too big scope is, in a project, people either get scared from it or it looks to be an eternal project. People lose their attention. You may lose people because it simply takes too long. So you need to go in quicker. You could call them sprints. You could call them phases. But you have to make a more realistic plan to build that pyramid. And this is where this best practice thinking and the way how we activate things really, really helps. And one of the myths with SAP is that it's always a long project. Well, factually, the average implementation time for SAP is well under 3 months. And with our baseline activity, so the quick start, we can literally do that in a matter of a few weeks.
Okay. I'm actually surprised about how quick that is.